Let me remind you of Africa's biggest problem and suggest to you how we can solve this problem. Africa's story is often framed as one of struggle against war and disease. But beneath the headlines lies a deeper affliction, an insidious force that has thrived across decades, across borders, and across elections. The CRE, the corrupt ruling elite. Kenyans have been treated to a rude awakening about the corrupt ruling elite. The names may change, the promises may shift, but the game remains the same. Today, we see it with Kenya's President Ruto, former President Kenyatta, and former Prime Minister Odinga, all rivals who now stand united, regrouped, not for the people, but for themselves. Why does the ruling elite always regroup? Why do sworn adversaries suddenly become allies, betraying their manifestos and the trust of the electorate? Let's explore the mechanisms of power and impunity through critical political science principles. First, they regroup in order to renege. To renege is to break a promise. When politicians regroup, they collectively abandon the campaign pledges. That's not accidental, it's calculated. By reneging as a collective, they diffuse public anger, making it harder for the electorate to assign blame. This phenomenon aligns with Mahmoud Mamdani's concept of the politics of fragmentation. Mamdani, a prominent Ugandan political scientist, argues that post-colonial African states are structured to prevent unified resistance by the governed. The ruling elite exploits this fragmentation, turning ethnic groups, regions, and even classes against each other, while they consolidate their impunity. Next, the corrupt ruling elite regroup so that they can recoup. This regrouping allows the ruling elite to recoup two things: power and wealth. The regrouping that you are seeing in Kenya is focused on those two things, not the people. It's about self-preservation, not people empowerment. For the corrupt ruling elite, power is a means of extracting from the people, not serving them. Back to Mamdani, his theory of decentralized despotism explains this. While the facade of democracy remains intact, the actual governance resembles an auction where the highest bidders constantly take away from the people. The regrouping of Kenya's ruling elites isn't unique. Across Africa, political elites engage in what I call the impunity cycle. They break promises, shatter them. They share the spoils and shield each other from accountability. By regrouping, they ensure that no single actor, whether the president or opposition leader, is left vulnerable to the wrath of the people. But here's the truth. The real power lies not with the corrupt ruling elite, but with us, we the people of Africa. We must regroup as a united people so that we can recoup. We must recoup what has always been ours: our sovereignty, our dignity, and our future. The elites regroup to renege and recoup for themselves. We must regroup and recoup the power of we the people. Only then can we dismantle this architecture of impunity. This is our moment, Africa, to stop trusting blindly, to see through the empty promises, to rise up and regroup and reclaim our continent's destiny. We the people.